On July 30, 1986, a beautiful, healthy baby girl was born in Cavite City, Philippines. When she was 5 years old, she got on a plane and traveled 8,863 miles west. It was goodbye Philippines and hello Alaska. She left her home in the tropics to make a new home in the Arctic.
I'm Jessa. Welcome to Barrow, Alaska. It's been 22 years and the Arctic is still my home. But Barrow isn't my only home. The Philippines is also my home. It's been my home the past 4 years I've been going to college there. And whenever I'm in the Philippines, people always ask me these interesting questions. And it's not even just people from the Philippines. Even people from different states in the US ask really interesting questions. So I figured instead of you coming to Barrow, why not bring Barrow to you?
Alaska, the last frontier, is the largest state in the US and has the northernmost, westernmost, and easternmost points in the US. It is almost 1/5 as large as the US. Alaska is larger than Texas, California, and Montana combined. Alaska is home to the highest peak in North America, Mount McKinley, which is 20,320 feet, or 6,194 meters, and has the largest number of active volcanoes. Of all 50 states, Alaska has the fewest people per square mile. The capital of Alaska is Juneau. In 2008, when the controversial Sarah Palin, governor of Alaska, became the Republican Party's first woman vice presidential candidate and the first Alaskan to appear on a national ticket, she put Alaska on the map.
Give me them bright lights, long nights. Come on, yeah. High rise over time. Let's get those. Give me them bright lights, long nights. Party till the sun is rising. High rise over time. Working till the moon is shining.
Barrow, traditionally known as the Piagavik, the place where snowy owls are hunted, lies 330 miles north of the Arctic Circle and 1,200 miles south of the North Pole. It is the northernmost community in the U.S. The Chukchi Sea in the Arctic Ocean surrounds Barrow to the west, north, and east. To the south, tundra or permafrost, permanently frozen ground, stretches 200 miles until the Brooks Range mountain begins, separating and isolating Barrow from the rest of Alaska. Barrow is one of 8 villages. The other villages are Unaktuvik Pass, Utkasuk, Nuiqsut, Kaktovik, Point Hope, Point Lay, and Wainwright. Barrow is the largest village and is the center of the North Slope Borough, the largest municipality in the world, covering 89,000 square miles.
It's like a roller coaster. One step away, I'm closer. I can see it there within my reach. Won't let the city get on top of me. Glamour, glitter and gold. Nothing is stopping you. Nothing is stopping me. This frenzy out of control. I'ma stay in pursuit. Do what I gotta do. Give me them bright lights, long nights.
So the first question I always get asked is it cold in Alaska? Hell yeah, it's cold. I'm standing on the Arctic Ocean right now and it's frozen solid. I could jump and jump and the ice isn't gonna break. And if you look around, there aren't any trees in sight. That's because it's so cold. Today is February 7th and the temperature is -23 degrees Fahrenheit. with a wind of 7 miles per hour. That makes Barrow feel negative 43 degrees below Fahrenheit. January and February are the coldest months, and July is the warmest, with temperatures of about 40 degrees Fahrenheit. If you notice, it's still kind of light outside. That's because the first day of official sunlight for this year was on January 22nd. In Barrow, we experienced 2 months of darkness and 3 months of light. It takes a while to adjust to the climate, especially if you're coming from a hot and humid place like the Philippines and coming to a cold and freezing place like this. So if you do decide to come here, you have to dress properly. So if you notice, I have my hat on, I have a t-shirt, a sweatshirt, a jacket, which has a thick layer of, I don't know what this is called, and gloves, and then I have my sweatpants, plus these snow pants, my boots, and I'm wearing 2 pairs of socks right now to keep me warm. So if you think Tagaytay and Baguio are cold, wait till you come to Barrow. Another question I always get asked is, do we live in igloos? Because of the influence of television, people think we live in igloos. Actually, the word igloo means house in Inupiat, and they only served as temporary, not permanent shelters for the Eskimos when they'd go hunting or fishing. This is where I live, 1540 Dunnock Street, on Barrow's side. Barrow has 3 sides, Barrow, Browerville, and Gnarl. And as you can see, my house isn't made of snow, it's only covered in snow. If you look down here and notice these wooden things, these are called pilings. And they're placed 8 feet in the ground because, as I said earlier, the land is permafrost over here. It's to prevent the structure from sinking. So now let's head inside our igloo and warm up. So now we're inside the house, and this is what you call a kanichuk, an outside entrance. It's to prevent the wind or the cold from entering the actual house. So let's go on in. Now let's have a look over here now that we're inside my house. So look at this. We have ice on the window because it's so cold. And now you've probably seen cribs before, and you know how they always show you what's inside the fridge, so let's come and take a look. What do we have in my fridge? Look at that! Filipino food, pancit! Alright. Kinda thirsty, all this talking is making my throat dry, so I'm gonna have a drink of water. The water here is clean, that's why you could just drink it straight from the faucet. And what's unique about our pipes is that the pipes here, I don't know if you'll be able to see it that well, but these pipes are insulated. It's to prevent it from freezing. Alright, so this room isn't actually my room, it's the bathroom. And in here we have a washer and a dryer, which is very convenient because there's no way we can hang clothes up outside. So you just take the stuff from the washer, like so, put it in the dryer, close it, set the time, and there it goes, it's drying. This is where I head every morning to take a shower. What I like about taking showers here is they have hot showers. So this is my room, I share it with my cousin. Have a bed, and we don't have a TV, but we have our laptops right over here. And my dresser is right over there. I'm still trying to settle in. So it's pretty much it. This is my room. I hope you enjoyed my house. Now, get out.
One.
Alapa Silya. The weather is cold. Hello, I'm Fanny Akpik. My maiden name is Pekok. I was born and raised here in Barrow, Alaska. I'm the 13 of 14 children born to my Inupiaq parents, Pekok and Ingiluk. And then when the missionaries came in the mid to late 1800s, they supposedly found the northern part of Alaska, where we have lived for thousands and thousands of years. We're called the Inupiaq. To the outside world, we're considered the Eskimos. And from my own research, I found that it is a Northern Canadian Indian nation that we used to war with our relatives from the Northern Canadian Inupiaq nation, and they named each other's because of the warring, and so they named us Eskimo, which to them mean raw meat eaters, which we truly are. When we talk about us and our heritage, our culture, we call ourselves Inupiaq. I'm an Inupiaq. And then when you hear the word Inuit, we use that when we talk of the northernmost people of the Arctic, Russians, Alaskans, Canadians, Greenlanders, even sometimes Finlanders. We're all considered the Inuit because we are survivors of the harsh Arctic.
The term Inupiat means real people. The North Slope Borough has a population of just over 7,500. Of that 7,500, 4,700 live in Barrow. 65% of the residents in Barrow are Inupiat. If you want to see everyone in town, then the best place to find them is at the Barrow High School gym, the home of the Barrow Whalers. When the boys and girls high school basketball teams have home games, the whole town comes out to support them. This is the closest thing Barrow has to entertainment.
Our Inupiaq language, I hear people say that it's the hardest language to learn. English was the hardest language to learn. Inupiaq is my first language. I grew up not knowing English at all, so I learned English in the school system. But we were punished to not speak Inupiaq. But then we kept speaking it at home when we weren't watched over by the principals or the teachers. So I am also a keeper of our songs and dances. That's another area the missionaries tried to stop us from practicing, telling us that we are worshiping an evil spirit and that it's not a good idea to keep on singing and dancing the way we did. But lo and behold, our parents, grandparents knew that if we didn't keep it up, half of our soul would have been severed. We wouldn't be a whole person in this harsh Arctic that we live in. So to us, English is hard to learn, but it's a universal language today. So many of our children, their first language is English. Second is Inupiaq, which is an embarrassment to many of us. But people my age, we still speak to our children at home and in public too, now that we're realizing if we don't keep using our language, it will die. In Atjagat, what we call Atjagat, we have 24 sounds, 3 vowels, A, I, U. In English, they're A, I, and U. And so we don't have a O, we don't have a E in our writing system. And then we have 3, 4, 5, 6 sounds that are different than in English, especially our glottal sounds. A G and a dotted G, G, G. Then the K and then the Q, K and then G. And so we're all reteaching these sounds to the young people, because if they don't use the language, they don't know how to make those sounds. Here are the examples of the sounds that I'm talking about. Okay? G, even though it looks like a regular G in English, the only sound that comes out when we use this G is Ra. And remember, we have only 3 vowels. We go Ra, Ri, Ru. Try that. Ra, Ri, Ru. And then this word is Iga.
Iga.
Iga. Iga by itself means to cook.
Okay.
And so, when we were asked to name a kitchen, we have the word Igavik. And Vik, every time you hear a word with this ending, we are talking about a place to do something, whatever this verb is. And you'll see it, yeah. Igavik.
Igavik.
Igavik. Igavik. And so, Iga is to cook, and now Igavik is the kitchen, a place where we cook. Okay. And then the dotted G I mentioned is, we have to put a dot over it. It's a plain G, but the sound is back here in the back of your throat. Ra, re, ro. Ra, re, ro.
Ra, re, ro.
Yeah. And the word here I'm using is ahre. Ahre. Ahre means to hold an Eskimo dance. Traditional, everybody coming in with their drums, singers, dancers, all come together. Renjacte du också med Bear High School me. You understood Bear High School. I'm saying they are going to hold the dance at the Bear High School. And so Bear High School became this, Arevik.
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 When you gargle, you go, right? It's that sound. Arre. Arevik. Yeah.
Arevik.
Yeah. And then moving a little bit over here, I'm giving you some examples of, even though this K looks like an English K, and then in the old writing system, we used to have a K with a dot below it, but that got changed to the Q. Okay? And so, I'm giving you an example. Cock,
Cock.
cock,
Cock.
just like saying kite, right? The kite you fly. Cock,
Cock.
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 And then our Q sound is back there again. Cock, 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 cock.
Cock. Cock.
Yeah. Cock means to be hungry. Cock means to explode. Okay. Ikuk. For that one.
Ikuk.
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 And then same spelling except with a Q. Ikuk.
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 Ikuk. Ikuk. Ikuk.
Ikuk. And then ikuk. Ikuk means to get messy, disorganized. Okay? Ikuk is when you throw things out. Here's the other two tools that are of importance. Ikun,
Ikun.
ikun, and then
Ikun.
ikun.
Ikun. Ikun.
Ikun. Ikun is the skin scraper. The fur, we don't worry about the fur. The membrane is what we scrape to clean in preparation to make something out of the skin. Ikun is the toilet paper. Okay? So, I always joke around with my students. If you're in the toilet and you didn't have the ikun, and you holler, somebody bring me an ikun, guess what I'm going to bring you? A skin scraper. Not the toilet paper. You ask for a ikun, I'll bring you a skin scraper. You have to always practice to learn the difference between our K and our Q. So,
Okay. And how do you say thank you?
Koyanak.
Koyanak.
Koyanak. Ko. Ya. Nak. Okay. Koyanak.
Koyanak. Fine. I'm here at the famous whalebone ark right near Brower's Cafe. These are made from the ribs of a bowhead whale. This used to be the whaling station for Barrow. The Inupiat people practice a subsistence way of life. Whaling has been part of their tradition, and it's been a tradition that's been passed on from generations to generations.
Here we see a small, tender whale, a favorite delicacy of the Inupiat people, giving itself to a fortunate crew from Barrow. The lucky crew will soon feel the joy and pride that comes with feeding the community. This situation is especially dangerous for the whalers because the ice they are on is extremely thin. Tradition dictates how and where each cut is made. Long-handled knives are used to cut the muktuk and meat.
That way.
Hooks with ropes attached to them are used to pull the muktuk as the muktuk is cut away from the body of the whale. The entire whale will be butchered and shared with the community based on traditions handed down through the centuries. Shares, some for the captain, the crews that helped tow the whale, the crews that helped land the whale, the people who came out to help with the butchering, and shares for the community at large, are spread about the ice. In this case, the meat in the muktuk is loaded onto sleds and hauled several miles back to Barrow.
I remember one time the ice had started coming in, but there was a large portion of water that was open, and then somehow another crew that was further north from us had struck a whale, and they had started chasing this whale, and they had wounded it, and I could see it going around in circles with the flippers, just going around in circles, and these boats were trying to kill it. Just two boats. And there were boats, they were using motor skin boats, but they were using small motors, Evinrude. And there was this one guy, two guys on the boat, and there was one guy in the harpoon, and he wanted to get near the whale, and he kept telling the guy to get closer to the whale, but the whale was going around in the circles and flipping out of the water, real dangerous. But then he didn't want to get near the guy that was running the boat, and every time they get near, he turned the boat around because he didn't want to get any closer because it was so dangerous. Well, anyway, I remember watching this guy, and the guy in the harpoon, he ran on top of the seats, pulled that guy from the motor and took control of the motor and started going that whale that was going around in circles. And just before they hit it, he ran up, grabbed the harpoon, threw it at the whale, and the whale just stopped right there. And then the guy pulled away, and then he killed it just by throwing one harpoon. And I thought that was so awesome. This is a whale, the muktuk. This is like the skin of the whale. You want to turn the TV off? Oh. No?
You're going to be in the movie too, Jessica. I will be because I'm going to.
So this is a whale that we catch, or the people catch, and this is like the skin, and this is like the blubber. The blubber is like a foot, sometimes a foot, sometimes more. And that's how the whale is able to be out in the Arctic Ocean, because it's got so much blubber on it. And that's what we grew up on, is eating muktuk. So,
We're going to cut a piece off.
yeah. And that's the ulu that she's using. Here, I'll show you how.
Okay.
Want me to show you?
You're going to move your like that. I've never used
You never used a noodle?
No, I've only seen them make one.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Okay, let her cut it herself.
Like this.
Uh-huh.
Other way. You gotta.
There's a left hand and a right hand.
Okay. Like this.
You got the blubber off.
Okay, she'll eat it. Should we make her eat it all?
Yeah.
I'll bring it home. Okay.
And then you could cut it in smaller pieces too, like. That's how people leave it, is they go like that to, like this to. And then you go.
T-37 back to Barrow Parkway.
And sometimes people use horse size. And this is caribou meat, raw. People prefer having muktuk with caribou.
This is the
Caribou,
raw caribou.
Are you around the warehouse?
Right. It's better with seal oil.
And this is the dried caribou.
When I get up, I'm outside.
The dog wants to.
Buddy.
Plugging in the car.
Ah.
Yeah. Well, good.
This is seal oil, but you could make oil like this with blubber. It's like olive oil or, you know, oil. And then when you cut the strips of maktak, then it becomes, and you leave it alone, it starts reeking of, it starts getting liquid. Ernest, give me a bowl. Oh, right here.
And what do you eat this with?
You could eat it with caribou, like a dip, like a dip, like this. And then with dried meat, people prefer having dried meat with seal oil.
I think I just like it plain.
No.
Plain.
There aren't any fast food chains in Barrow, nor are there any drive-thrus, but we do have 7 restaurants in town that offer American, Chinese, and Korean cuisine.
I'm here at Browers Cafe, one of the oldest restaurants in Barrow. I can't decide what to eat. I've been looking at this menu and it's just so many good food that I can't decide. Let's look at the back. So we have pork dishes, chicken, beef, and our drinks. I'll probably be ordering the Korean dishes. I'll probably get number 5. So now I have my order, and thank you. Look at the size of the portions. In the Philippines, you'll probably just think like the half of this. So I got my Korean dish, my rice, kimchi, some hot sauce because I want it extra spicy, and my iced tea. So I'm actually not eating lunch by myself. I'm with my friend Gabe. He's my cameraman. And his order is French dip and French fries. So the total for both meals is $47. And this is the check. Over here we say check, not bill. And it's polite to leave a 15%.
Eating out is pricey because the ingredients to make the dishes are expensive. We don't have a market here where you can negotiate the prices of the stuff you want to buy. We only have 1 grocery store and 3 convenience stores. This is AC, or Stuakpak, which in Inupiat means big store. Everything is expensive here because Barrow is so remote and isolated, all the goods have to be flown or barged in.
This is a Roma tomato, but this isn't the only tomato we saw here. We have a variety of tomatoes to choose from. But typically, this is the one we find in the Philippines. It's about the size we find in the Philippines. Maybe a little smaller. So the other tomatoes we have are the regular tomatoes, and then on the vine tomatoes, and then the one I mentioned, which was Roma tomatoes, and then we have these itty bitty tomatoes called sweet grape tomatoes. So the difference between the Philippines and here is that here we weigh stuff by the pound, whereas in the Philippines stuff is weighed by the kilo. So for a pound of Roma tomatoes, it's going to cost about $3.99. And here we have the onions, our selection of onions. Here we have the white onions, $2.79 a pound. The yellow onions, which are $2.29 per pound, and sweet onions, $2.49 per pound. And one of the things we always use in the Philippines is garlic. Garlic here is $4.59 per pound. We have our green beans, and it's kind of hard to get really fresh vegetables. As you see, it's kind of wrinkly already. And this costs $4.99 per pound. But in the Philippines, we could choose how many kilos we want. Here, everything comes pre-packed. So, say for example, these drumsticks that are pre-packed, it weighs 3.25 pounds and it costs $10.69. For 6 pieces of pork chop, that's 2.97 pounds, it costs $14.20. And here, ground beef, which is about 3.12 pounds, is going to cost you $10.89. In the Philippines, pandesal sells for 2 pesos per piece. Over here, we usually eat loaf bread. And for about 15 slices of bread, it's going to cost around $6.39. Over here, the only seafood we get is frozen seafood. We don't get any fresh fish. What we have is frozen tilapia, product of Taiwan. And this fish is gonna cost $6.02. In the Philippines, if you want, you can just buy 1 egg. But here, you have the options of buying a dozen for $4.39 or 18 eggs for $6.39. And we also have 5 dozen eggs, but there's none available today. This section right here, and all the way up to here, is the Oriental section. And then rice falls under the Oriental section. So over there, if we have 50 kilos of rice, here we only have 5 pounds of rice available for the price of $11.79.
The cost of living in Barrow is very high. The pay here is higher compared to other states. The economy of Alaska is centered on oil and natural gas. Prudhoe Bay, which is located in the North Slope, is the biggest oil field in the U.S. and is on state-owned land. Every year, each qualified Alaskan resident receives a permanent dividend fund, and the amount received is based on the billions of dollars in oil revenues. Last year, the dividend amount was $3,269. Speaking of resources, the Inupiat are resourceful people. They use as much of the animal as they can and try not to let anything go to waste. This demonstration shows how to make use of seal as a means of providing light with a seal oil lamp. Seal also has other uses. The skin of the seal is used to make the umiak, the traditional boat used for whaling. If in the Philippines we have tinikling, in Barrow we have Eskimo dancing. Eskimo dancing is part of the Inupiat heritage. This is Kivik, or Messenger Feast, a 3-day celebration of dance and song that brings Inuit from the North Slope, Russia, Canada, and Greenland. Kivik is not an annual event. It is held every 2 or 3 years. The last Kivik was in 2007. Each dance tells a story. Men dance with their hands inward and stomp their feet. Women dance with their hands outward and keep their feet together. The drumbeat of the Eskimo drums is like a heartbeat of the Inupiat culture.
It's 11 o'clock p.m. and instead of getting ready to go to bed, I need to get ready to go to work because my day's just about to start.
Back to the street where we began, feeling as good as lovers can, you know.
I bring this bag to work with me every day. It has a change of clothes because I work from 12:30 to 8:30, and if I get called into work at my other job, I don't have time to run home and change. So I bring another set of clothes with me, and then I bring my laptop to keep me occupied while I'm at work, and I have some of my schoolwork to work on. And since I'm working for 8 hours, I bring some food just in case I get hungry. Have some here too. I have my makeup so I can put my face on before I go to my other job. And then the most important thing is my energy drinks to keep me up all day and give me the energy I need. Welcome to Top of the World Hotel. These are my duties for my shift, but I don't really do all them. The only ones I do are vacuum, empty the trash, count the money, clean the kitchen area, and run my reports, and answer the phones.
It's 9 in the afternoon. Your eyes are the size of the moon. You're good 'cause you can, so you do. We're feeling so good, just the way that we do. When it's 9 in the afternoon. Your eyes are the size of the moon. You're good 'cause you can, so you do.
Now I'm gonna run my reports, and there's a lot of them that I have to run, so I just follow the step-by-step guide on how to do it.
Your eyes are the size of the moon. You're good 'cause you can, so you do. We're feeling so good, just the way that we do. When it's 9 in the afternoon.
So I'm pretty much done with everything. I usually get everything done within an hour. Then after I dim the lights, turn the main lights off, and just sit here, go on my laptop, answer the phone whenever it rings, and just wait for people to wake up in the morning and check them out. It's now 8:30, and that means it's the end of my shift, so I'm gonna go and head over to my next job.
Change from this burnout scene.
In the Philippines, I live the life of a student. Here, my job is to watch the students. This is Barrow High School, home of the Whalers. I work here during the day as an on-call substitute from 9 to 3:30. If a teacher is absent, I fill their place. I walked these very halls when I was in high school. Today, the teacher I'm substituting for was my English teacher when I was a sophomore.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good morning, Barracks. Today is Monday, February 9, 2009.
My job here basically consists of doing two things. First is taking attendance and then just telling them what's on the lesson plan. So we do attendance on the internet because it's web-based. And if someone's absent, just click on absent. Then whoever's absent, put the mouse by their name, and it marks it, and you just press submit. And simple as that. And then I just tell each student what work they have to do for each period. And it's all on the lesson plan. And this is the lesson plan the teacher left for me.
Take so damn long. Took it out on the street while the rain still falls. Push me back to you.
It's now period 3 and it's Mrs. Abraham's prep period. That means no students. And since I haven't had any sleep yet, I'm going to try to take a quick nap before lunch. It's 3:30, which means school's out, so I'm heading out. See you guys later. I'm lying in bed right now and it's 7 o'clock p.m., which means it's time for me to go to sleep because in about 4 hours I have to start my day all over again. So I hope you had fun following me throughout my day, and good night. So Barrow doesn't mean a house. So igloo doesn't mean a house made of snow. Igloos only served as temporary, not permanent shelters when they know people. It's now period 3 and it's Mrs. Abraham's prep period. April! You're gonna make from the